Hey Pookies, welcome back to another video. If you guys do not know who I am, my name is Esme and I am your guys' residential book talk addict. Now, to start us off, I'm going to be telling you guys all the books that I read in the month of June, which actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it was like 6 if you count mangas. If you don't count mangas, I only read 3 books then. But let's get right into the video. Now, if you do not know, I love romance. I love fantasy. However, this month has been greatly romance related. I don't know why. I was just in a romance mood. So to start us off, I actually read Ali Hazelwood's newest book, Mile High. Not Mile High. Oh my god. I'm thinking about a different book. Sorry. I read Ali Hazelwood's Not in Love book, which honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I finished it all, but it did take me a few days, and I will say this, if you do not like smut, I would not recommend you read this book. I'm like, if you genuinely do not love reading smut, you might not enjoy this book. Like, this book was mostly smut. Like, I actually skipped some parts and I still was able to understand the story. But, you know, I skipped the smut because I was just like, you know, so much, like, I love some smut, but, like, not a lot of smut. So I'm just like, I'm gonna skip through. So I actually gave this book a 3 out of 5. It's not her worst book, but it's not her best book. Like, for me so far, her best book is Love Theoretically, and then following behind that is Bride. But if I would have to say, like, her, I don't know, I haven't finished all of her books, so I can't really say her worst book, but this is like, she's okay. That's why I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. And then for smut, it's like a 4 out of 5, because usually I leave the 5 out of 5 for like the dark romance, because their smuts are crazy. I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, it's basically following after a character who goes by the name of Rue, who I believe is a food chemist. I think their whole goal is kind of like to, what's it called, to see how long they can make food last. And then he's in charge of like this business, so, you know, I kind of got like academic rivals to lovers, but or like workplace enemies kind of as well. And then I was like, there was a whole little plot twist at the end. I'm not gonna say much, but yeah. Alrighty, the next book I actually read, if you didn't count these, but I actually read a manga series called Sweat and Soap. And so I read the first 3 books. I don't know if you guys can see them, but I read the first 3, and I have books 4 and 5 over here on my list as well, which, you know, you guys might see in the next video. But yeah, I read this whole book series back to back to back. And so, like, originally I bought book 1, right? This is book 1, right? I bought book 1 by itself because I was like, all right, let me buy this book just to see, you know, am I gonna like it? Like, am I gonna actually like it? I liked it so much, I went to Barnes & Noble's the very next day and I bought copies 2 and 3. I finished it, and then the day after that, I bought books 4 and 5. And then, I don't know, like, the manga series, I got slowed down for a little bit because, like, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to read an actual romance book. But yeah, I would, if you guys want to, like, dip your toes into manga, or, like, you're just trying to find more recommendations, hear me out. Sweat and Soap. It is a little bit raunchy, I will say that, but they do have like some very cute moments, and like he's helping her with like her self-esteem. She's helping him creating more soap brands, kind of like helping his muse, like trying to figure out like, hey, what are some new soaps that I can include? But I was like, this story was just so cute, and I would greatly recommend you guys read this. Like 5 out of 5. I love these books. Alrighty, the next book that I actually read was called Pucking Around by Emily Rath. I also read the novella. I think it's Before We something. I'll figure out what it's called, but I read the novella first as well. The novella I genuinely loved. This one, I was so confused, and then I was kind of like, you know what? Specific book, I was like, you know what? I wish it had less smut. Because, like, if you guys do not know, this follows around a character who goes by the name of Rachel Price, who actually ends up in a polyamory relationship. So she meets this guy who goes by the name of, I think his name is Jake or Jason. I already forgot his name. Falls in love with him, falls in love with his best friend, and then falls in love with their goalie. So it's kind of like they're a polyamory relationship. And then I was just like, I was so confused. But honestly, I like the storyline. I read this mostly on my Kindle because, like, imagine midnight, I'm over here trying to read like this. I'm like, so yeah, I like reading it on the Kindle when they're available. But I read this. I also gave this book kind of like a 3 out of 5 stars because, like, it wasn't my favorite, but like if you love hockey and you kind of want to like dip your toes into it, maybe this could be for you. I mostly bought this because it said like best-selling TikTok hockey romance. I was like, you know, maybe it could be good, but maybe I need to start looking at less recommendations from TikTok. But But I did like that it has like a little bit of like a shimmer. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like a shimmer to it, and I think I got this during the Target sale. Alrighty, the last book that I read, I actually need to pull up my Goodreads because this was a book that was only on Kindle Unlimited. So like, I was too lazy to buy the physical book, and so I have to figure out what it is. So give me a second. Okay, so the book that I read was called The Roommate Arrangement, The Divorced Men's Club #1 by the author Saxon James. I saw I'm not gonna lie to you guys how I always get this, but I saw an Instagram reel that was like, you know, basically the guy's husband cheats on him. He goes back to his old state. Turns out he falls in love with the brother's best friend. So it's kind of like brother's best friend, which honestly I love. And I love the fact that they're both a little bit older, and it's kind of like showing their struggles. Like, hey, you know, like, I had like this whole life. I believe it's set in Boston, but like he had like this whole life set in Boston. And so like after, it says it in the summary, but after he's after what's it called, his husband cheats on him, he basically is gonna go live with the brother's best friend because, you know, the brother's best friend is renting out a room. So he's like, you know what, here you go, have this. But the brother's best friend also has a crush on the older brother, which is who it's set by. And so I was like, I was loving this angst. I was like, the fact that like you want him but you can't have him because then your best friend's gonna be like, hey yo, why are you having a crush on my brother? Like, I thought we were friends and all that. But yeah, honestly, I love the books that I read this month so far. I'm also currently reading another book, but I won't be able to finish it in time before the month ends. But I'm actually currently right now reading Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher, which I actually have right here. I'm currently reading Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher on my Kindle, and I'm on chapter, I think, 30. Like, she's a bit thick, but this will probably be included in July's because I haven't finished it yet. And so actually this month was a little bit of a shorter read, I will say that. I read 3 books plus 3 mangas, so I don't know if you guys can tell, but let me just line these up. 3 books and 3 mangas. But alright, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys again in the next one where I will be telling you guys, you know, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys again in the next video. I don't know if this comes out before that one or this one, but who knows? I might see you guys in my July wrap up, or like picking my July books. Bye, Pookies.